Hello, it's Sharon here from Be Divine Vintage. I've decided, after the excitement of my weekend's alteration to my book, that I would do another page. And as I did this one on the last recording, and I made this tag, if you remember, and I actually did decide to stitch around 3 sides of the tag. I put a little old picture in there as well, one of the Tim Holtz ones, and that's in there. That's the key ring that I bought. Now it does need to be on a longer chain, otherwise the book won't shut properly, so I am going to put a different chain on and having it hanging down the bottom. However, for now it's just sticking out there. So this is the page I did ages ago with the zip and some zip pocket. So I do need to find a tag or something for in there. So I'm going to do this page. So I believe I've got everything together. So this was some cheap PVA glue, I believe, like Elmer's glue, and I put gold acrylic paint in it and a little bit of coffee to get this sort of creamy colour here. You see, looks like a bit like creme brulee. So that is the colour that I'm going to be using, so that I give the page a bit of colour. So the first thing I'm going to do is use this PVA glue over the page. So these are book pages that I've prepared previously by gluing pages together to make the pages sturdier than just a single page. Because with these pages, this is an old 1930s order book. These pages are very, very flimsy, like tissue paper. That noise in the back, isn't it? Is my cat? What are you doing? What's he doing, Percy? He's playing with bits and pieces on the floor. There's lots of bits and pieces on my floor because I'm tidying up. Come having a look, because there's beads and all sorts. I've been sorting out today my Christmas and Halloween things. So this is some music paper that I'd waxed with a wax crayon previously. There's a video on that further back somewhere in my videos. I think it's called Waxing Lyrical. And I'd used some wax crayons I'm going to take that up to the edge there. And this is Bluebells of Scotland. Well, seeing as my book is Enchanted sort of woodland, I thought that Bluebells of Scotland just fits in nice. I mean, in the UK, I would say Scotland, Wales, Cornwall. If you want enchantment, that's the place to go. Right, then I have picked this napkin, which I thought the butterfly is just so beautiful. So I'm going to decoupage some napkin onto here. So first of all, I do need to divide it. This is the bit now that sticky tapes upstairs. Let's see if I can do it with the, yes, it's done it with the washi tape. Keep that for future use. Good for wiping up and things like that. And let's take the second ply off. Beautiful. Now if I put it on like that, we would get upside down butterflies. So I'm actually going to use, I did bring down my little water brush. I'm just going to sort of go around where I'd like to tear it. Let me check I'm in frame. I am, aren't I? Please tell me I am. Yeah. We'll put one there. I think we'll have one there. And then we'll have another one up here. Yeah, I did my tag yesterday and then realised after that I wasn't in frame properly. Which, considering I spend a lot of time checking if I'm in frame, I just don't know what went wrong. Take that one down a bit. I'm going to take some of that off. So much easier just to tear these napkins when they're wet. If you don't have these water pens, you can just use a paintbrush and water. Let's just cut this one a bit smaller. I'm starting to build up my napkin supplies too. I've done quite a few like swaps and things recently, and I've popped napkins in and people have popped napkins in back, so that's been good. Right, in fact, I should put that one at the top. Right, we'll do that. So, I do like the method of using a dry glue underneath. This is lifting, you know, I think it's probably because it's wax paper, because of the wax on it. Let's use some stronger glue than PVA. So let's put some dry glue on like that. I am terrible for tearing the paper when I decoupage. So I have seen this done by a few artists, so let's give it a go. Let's just put this one there. Now you can leave it so it feels like that, just go around the edge, you know, fix it down that way if you choose to. But because I've got this glue with the painting, I'm going to do it with my PVA, aka Elmer's glue, school glue, whatever you call it in your country. Wrinkles don't bother me because I am a girl who loves texture. I know some people can't stand wrinkles. One of the things you can do is when it's, oh, I should have put something to protect that there. Oh, let me use this letter. Let me wipe it. I want PVA all over my lovely gilded envelope. I'll use this letter. It's only a bill. It's only a bill. Yeah, so wrinkles. So when it dries, if you have got wrinkles, you could just use a nail file and just lightly sand over it to get your wrinkles out. If you prefer a wrinkle-free surface. So this shouldn't take that long to dry. I find that when you put the dry glue underneath, to me it doesn't tear as easy as it does when you use wet glue and then wet glue over the top. There we go. Very pretty. And not a tear in sight. How exciting. While that is wet there, I am going to put, I've got a glassine bag here that I've coloured with avocado dye, and I'm actually just going to stick that on. Let's put some glue on here. I don't want a pocket in the back of it. I just want the bag as my pocket. That was a bit silly. That was silly. Silly Sharon. Silly Billy. There we go. So I'm just going to stick that down on there. Right. And we will just leave that to dry a moment, because I just want to do a little bit of work on a napkin. Just move this while it dries. Not a napkin, a doily. Doily. Hey ho doily. Oh, here it is. There's my doily. So I'm going to get some distress. I've got my new one today. This is a vintage photo, a very old, decrepit, well used, well inked, well re-inked and re-inked and re-inked. Not very good for much at the moment, but it's aging this doily very, very nicely. Oh, there's two there. I was going to coffee stain, but then I thought if I do this, it's quicker, and I do believe it is as effective. Now, what I have here, piece of parchment paper. I'm just going to put that on there. Actually, let's just go around there one more time. Lovely. So what I'm going to do on here is, I have been in the garden this morning pressing flowers, because this is all I've got left of my pressed flowers. So I'm going to put in the centre of this some pressed flowers. So I'm going to paint with the Mod Podge. In fact, I'm going to, oh, look at that effect. I'm going to paint all over the doily with the Mod Podge, because that, I love the colour it's made. The Distress Oxide. Ooh, very nice. Let's be careful. Right, I'm going to just turn that over, because I don't want to glue my doily down to that. So I want to put some flowers in the middle here. So let's just have a look what I've got. Do I want some of these bigger petals on? I think I will. Up. Oh. I might have to just tear that. Very fragile, these. See how thin they are? I don't know what they're off, but they are. Oh, very, very beautiful. And very, very delicate. Nothing planned for this evening. We should have had a roast dinner last night, with my son and his girlfriend coming over, and it just turned out they didn't come over, because you know it is, they fall out and have a row. They just didn't feel like coming over, so we abandoned the roast dinner and just had like a grazing plate, and I went to church. So we've got the roast, the roasties, the chicken, we've got the potatoes, which I don't think we'll roast, I think we might have as mashed potatoes. We've got potatoes, carrots, broccoli, all prepared. I keep sticking myself to it. We've got potatoes, broccoli, carrots, all prepared. We've got a chicken that's roasted. So that's what we're having tonight. Just building it. Oh, she says. I'm just trying to build up some layers of flowers on here. Just to bring some nature into my page. I've got tweezers, but guess what? Yeah, you're right, they're upstairs. Let's pop that on there. This little tiny one that can go up there. Whoa. Hang on. Those are there. This is so unbelievably sticky. Maybe I should have dried it and then tried to stick my flowers on. Maybe I will dry it. Maybe I will. Let's dry it. Let's just take that one off. There. Right, we'll leave those there. We will just dry this. Otherwise it'll be a disaster. That's better. I can touch it now. Right, let's get back to business. Yeah, so all the food and thing is ready. All the prep's done. So that's what we're going to eat this evening. Nothing planned. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to church tonight. I was at church last night. So I'm just going to chill. I'm going to watch Coronation Street. I'm just going to relax with my family. I've been into work this morning, into our family business. Checking out what's going down there. So we've got a tax inspection next week. Checking that we're paying minimum wage, which of course we are, because we pay above minimum wage. But you know, these tax inspectors have got a job to do, and that is one of them. Checking us. I could have done without it. Right, there we are. So there's a little collage of flowers. Right, what I'm going to do is do that then with no stickiness. I'm going to bring the book back. And which is drying very nicely. I'm going to stick a little collage of flowers on and down. So let's just go over that. Make sure it's stuck it over the butterfly. After all, you see the butterfly there. So people say, well, why? I can hear you saying, well, why have you stuck it over the butterfly? Well, why not? It's there. The butterfly's there. You can see it peeping out. You can see it peeping out here. It's about the layers and the good quality of layers. I'm putting some more of this over these now. It's about quality of your layers. You know, if you want your work to look quality, you can't put just rubbish stuff underneath. Fabulous. Right, I have got for here Red Riding Hood. Am I on? Let's leave up. So I've got Red Riding Hood. So I want to distress Red Riding Hood. So let's just get my water pen, and I'm going to go a wet drown Red Riding Hood by going around the edges with my water pen. Because I want these edges to curl up. I want them to look like they've been around. In fact, let's move the book again. Let's move it. Right, I've got my lovely new big desk, and that's better. That's better. So I've gone around the edge. I'm going to get my Distress Oxide. This is the Vintage Photo. I'm going to just go over that. Oh, Red Riding Hood was one of my favourite stories, and I know, well, it still is. I love all fairy stories, but when I was a little girl, my grandma used to tell me and my brother the story, and she'd be like, I'd be like, she'd be Granny, and I was Red Riding Hood, and my brother was the wolf. And I'd go in to Red Riding Hood's, and Granny would be in bed. Now, at this point, it was, even though my brother was the wolf and Granny is the wolf at this point, it was Grandma. Sorry, this is a Stabilo 8046, so it would be my grandma now. And I would say, Grandma, what big eyes you've got. All the better to see you with. Granny, what big ears you've got. And so on, knowing that when you went, what big teeth you'd got, she'd jump up and tickle me and my brother. Oh, she was such good fun. She used to tell me so many fairy stories. And I'm just having a roll around the edge here. She used to tell me fairy stories. That's Grandma. I love fairy stories. I used to sit for hours in the children's library when I was little, just reading fairy stories. Frightened by Roald Dahl. They used to frighten me to death, those stories. So I would sit watching reading books in the library. My grandma would tell me fairy stories. And I loved it when there was a wicked witch. So I liked Hansel and Gretel as well. And then my granddad used to take me for walks. Me and him, because I loved nature and he loved nature. I was the only one, I think, of his grandchildren that loved the nature. So he used to take me for walks, and we would go into the park, and he would say, like, right, what can you smell? Like, aniseed balls, right, that's cold. And you give me the explanation of the different plants and things. I can smell the river. You know, you can smell like the rivers sometimes, can't you? I can smell the river, I can smell this, I can smell that. And he was just so, he just gave me that interest. Right, there we go. Right, that's all not sticky. Let's bring the book back. And we will put, let's check that this is all, we're back in frame, yes. We will put Red Riding Hood in position. Now tomorrow, this is an altered book. I've got like a big hair in, not a hair, a big fibre in my glue. This is an altered book, however, I sort of want to cross it with a journal. So I have been looking up sort of journals that you can insert into journals and books and things, and I love Laurie, Girl on the Ridge. She does a sloppy book, and I think, is that from, which she got the idea from Cafe Girl. So tomorrow I'm going to make a sloppy book. Ooh, look at that, all blending in nice. So I'm just putting some of my PVA over that. I'm going to make a sloppy book to go in here. So I need to make a tag for there. I'm going to make a sloppy book to fit in here. I'm going to show you my pocket in a minute. You need to give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes of this drying time. I've got some little glass toadstool beads. I think I might put them on here. Right, so there's, it's not dry, fully dry, but it's heading that way. So I have here some ribbon and lace. So how pretty is this? This is the vintage ribbon, lace I mean. And I don't know what fabric it is, but it is beautiful. And this is cotton, and I've tea stained that because I wanted it to match this tea stain of this page. And then I avocado the other week. Oh, I'm sat on it. I did a mammoth avocado dyeing day, so I like this pink. So this is a modern lace, and because it's man-made, the colours sort of vary. Can you see it's not all uneven? Whereas this one is a much more even. So what I've done is I have sort of, I've gathered this like this on my sewing machine. I just kept gathering it along. I've gathered some of the pink, and then I have stitched them together. So there they are together. They look really pretty, don't they? Sewed them with gold thread. I'm going to put that on there. This is what I keep wondering now, will a book stay in, or do I need to put a pocket to put the book in? Because I think the book would fall out of there. Or I could put it there to go nice there, so it's more like a belly band, and then the book could come through. Let me stand up. See, I had meant it to go there. Have I got anything here to make a pocket out of? Yes, I have got some of this mixed media paper I did yesterday. So if I took a corner of that and put it on there, I will make it smaller, a smaller corner of that, and put it there. Put that under the bag a bit, under the bag. No, I just need to go on top of the bag. And then I put this down, which is very pretty, but at least then the book will have something more solid to go into, because I think it would just fall out of there. What do you think? That's what I'm going to do. Right, so I'm going to use this. Oh, yeah, yes, please. I'm going to use that to there. Let's cut that off about there. This is why to do your mixed media papers and have them handy, because I really hadn't thought about what was going to happen to this book. But actually, now as I've assembling it, I thought that book is going to need something just to help it to stay in place. And luckily, because I haven't put the mixed media paper away yet, by away I mean upstairs. It's not been moved upstairs yet. I've not cleared the desk yet. That's sort of my last thing to clear. So I'm going to put that there. Let's just ink these edges. Right. Do you know what I did as well? I left the lid off my Pritt stick yesterday, off my dry glue. I was mad. Mad. Right, bringing out the big guns. Out comes the Fabri-Tac. Let's go along here. Yep. I don't want that there. I'm going to do the lounge in a minute. I've made myself a pact that I'm going to do a little bit of housework every day. Then I don't suddenly have mountains of it all at once. I would have done some this morning, but like I say, I had to go into work to help get stuff ready for this inspection by HMRC, Her Majesty's... What does it stand for? Her Majesty's... Anyway, tax. Tax is easier, isn't it? Right. So now I'm going to put a bead of glue down here. I think that's next Tuesday, the tax inspection. Should have been last week. But we had one of them days where my daughter-in-law had been rushed to hospital, and my son, who was doing the inspection with HMRC, obviously couldn't be there. So we had to change the date. And the tax office, they don't seem to like you doing anything like that, do they? They don't like... Anyway, I must admit Louise was our tax lady was... Oops, sorry, I just bumped that. Our tax lady was very, very good and very, very, very understanding. I'm going to put that down there. What a pretty page. Going to cut it off. There. Oh, I've still got some left stitched together. I'll keep that with my book, because I will more than likely use that in my book, or I might make some and sell some. Woohoo! Because it is rather beautiful. So that is there. I am now going to run some glue across the top. My husband's out in the garden. He's fitting new fences. So that is rather exciting. So he's been to see the neighbour, and the neighbour said, yeah, go for it. So our new fences fitted. They're ordered. Now I know that's a nice piece of mixed media, but like I said before, you know, Use your good stuff, and your good stuff can be seen. Do you know what I'm thinking now, ladies and gentlemen? Diamond dust. So that is ready now in there, in that pocket there, to take the sloppy book, which I'm going to make tomorrow, to give this chance to dry properly. And I'm afraid, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do Red Riding Hood's cloak. Maybe I should have done it before, but I'm sat here, and what should be peeping at me but the diamond dust. Let's just go round a cloak. With the glue. When I went for walks last week, my husband, when we went for a walk in Wales to Fairy Glen, I'm talking me to the fairies. I'm saying, I can't just see where you are at the moment, but I know you're there. And I'm making this book, and I've taken some lovely photographs. I've done some, like this is a picture that I took in some other woods I went into. There's a picture of rhododendrons. Then I've printed on top of it with these images. So they look like sprites looking out of the forest. So I'm going to do that with these pictures I've took. Well, not do that, but do something. So I'm saying to the fairies, now I've taken these pictures and I will be making this book. So please help me with the book. Please help me with my creativity. Ross is at it. Who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to the fairies. He said, they're not really, you know. I went, shh, we're in Fairy Glen. I said, you know, if you get a fairy on a bad day, you could end up in serious, serious trouble saying things like that. Just use some of the napkin back here. I'm just going to press on there to get a good coverage of diamond dust. And let's shake it off. Let's get this piece of paper. Yeah, fancy seeing that in Fairy Glen. They're not real. I was like, oh my word. I'm at it. Please forgive him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He really doesn't. So then I made him hug some. Oh, sorry. The book's so tall. Then I made him hug some trees and things and apologise with all his heart. So I'm just wiping off the dust where I don't want it, because I only really want it on her cloak. I don't want it on her face. Yes, so I made him apologise to the fairy. I made him say he was sorry, and I made him hug this big, like a big lump of crystal, this rock, beautiful rock. Right, can you see that? Can you see that? You see the dust on there? That will look absolutely stunning when it's dried. You see, whoa, look at that. Got a bit there we don't need. I'm wondering now why I couldn't lift it back, and it's a bit obvious why I can't lift it back, because it was absolutely zoomed in. I'm just going to get the Stabilo and just go around the edge of this bag. Not the edge of the bag, the edge of what's she called? Red Riding Hood. I think I'll just go around the edge of the bag then as well, seeing as I've said it now. Ooh, get that up there. What's this like? I'm just going to go around the edge of the doily as well, just to help it pop out of the page. Quite looking forward to making the sloppy book. It's one of my little guilty pleasures. Is I used to, well, I do. I used to sit with a hot milk in bed watching crafting videos, and I love watch the Artsy Bohemian, Laurie Marie Jenkins, Laurie Gill on the Ridge, Tracy Fox, all these. So it's like a secret guilty pleasure. And then with hot milk, so I'm watching all my videos. You know what's coming next, don't you? So I'm watching my videos, and but now no hot milk, because I've got this stupid raised bad cholesterol. I can't have hot milk. Cup of tea, I know it's caffeine at bedtime, but that's just how it is. Because I have to have a drink at bedtime, but the hot milk's gone. I used to have hot milk with a bit of sugar in it, watching Girl on the Ridge or Tracy Fox or Artie Mays and all these people, and then suddenly well, I can watch them, but I can't have my bits and bobs, my hot milk anymore. Just do a bit up here. So this is Princess File. I've seen a rose gold Princess File, so I might have to get that one. I've just ordered my last and paid my last thing on eBay. I thought no more. Then I saw rose gold Princess File. So there we go. I think those two pages blend together really lovely. What do you think? So tomorrow, if I get a chance tomorrow, if not, it'll be Thursday, I can make a sloppy folder to fit in there. And just thinking then, have I got a tag? I have. I've got a tag. Got a tag. So that tag will probably fit. Oh, look at that. Fits beautifully in there. Keep that there. So make a sloppy journal a sloppy journal book. And that will be rather exciting. So I'm Sharon from Be Divine Vintage. You've been watching my YouTube channel. I have a Facebook page, Be Divine Vintage, BeADivine. I have Instagram, Be Divine Vintage, BeADivine Vintage, and I have my Etsy shop, the same name. So please subscribe. It's been lovely speaking to you today. Can't wait to catch up with you again. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.